What's next?
The next principle is keep good company. Fact. Bad company corrupts good morals. Richie, you're two beautiful girls. Let's just say your neighbors' children were weed heads and they came to your house to hang out with your babies. Would you be like, oh, okay, you guys enjoy yourselves, have fun, and say bye, Rain? Yeah, would you?
When you know where I live.
Of course not. And we do that so easily with our children. We're like, who had you today? Oh my gosh, yesterday my daughter came home and she was complaining about her child who wrote such a bad note towards. I'm just like, you have no business hanging out with people like that. And it's easy for us to say that about our children. Question is, who are you hanging out with? And where finances, business, growth is concerned, is affecting you. We're the average, they say, of the 5 people that are around us.
Yes.
Bad company corrupts good morals. I need to be hanging out with people who are better than me, listening to voices that are higher than I am in the different things I'm working towards being and becoming. Because through that, I learn. Through their mistakes, I learn. Through their accomplishments, I also learn, but also get inspired. If he did that, why can't I? Right now, I'm learning from somebody who's been able to generate a massive amount of passive income very fast using a strategy that I will one day come back to CTA to talk about. I'm working towards that now to implement it in my own life. And that's who I want to listen to. That's who I will talk to. Ask him, what book should I read? Ask him, hey, how does this work? Learn as much as I can. But if I hang out with people who are always like, hey, hii economy, kuna shida. Oh my goodness, things are so bad. Oh my goodness, the corruption is, it is the reality. But I'm also listening to somebody.
There's one perspective.
Yeah. I'm also working with, being mentored by, and learning from somebody who's teaching me about identity. Oh my gosh, this one I need to talk about.
Okay.
There's a gentleman called Moses who was in the Bible. And this Moses guy was born, and the moment he was born, there was a decree that all children, boys his age, would be killed. But somehow his mother managed to put him in a basket, which we now call the Moses basket, and he was put on the river, and he ended up in the palace, and he was taken over as a child of Pharaoh. He grew up in a palace, but he was an Israelite. He was taught in the ways of the king. He was taught how to fight. He was taught all these different things. He was taught how to, in those days, I guess, he was educated in the maximum, to the maximum level he could have been. And at 40, he was ready to go and take over. Do you remember he killed somebody, a soldier? And then what happened? He ran away because of the circumstances and all of that. And even at that time, the Israelites themselves asked, who do you think you are? Anyway, he ran away. God still needed to work on him. It was when he was 80 when God called him. The point is this. God's identity for Moses was deliverer, because he was going to deliver the Israelites. When God came to him and said to him that you are going to go and deliver the Israelites, what did Moses say? But who will I say you are?
Yes.
You sent me. Who will I say you are? God tells him and answers his question. But how will I? God answers his question. He had many questions. One of the questions he asked is, but I am a stammerer. So his real identity, the fact he was stammering, see, it was a fact. So what I'm learning from this mentor of mine is that you have a false identity, you have a real identity, but then there's God's identity.
Wow.
False identity is for, I can never make it, I am a nobody, I am useless, I am an imposter, I don't know. Real identity is, I was born in, I live in, I have this amount in my account. It is the reality. However, there is another reality, and it is God's identity. The moment we're able to accept that identity, right, is the moment that you start seeing things differently. Now, what happened in Moses' case? Moses was like, but there, Mastamara, I can't. God said, anyway, there comes Aaron. You use Aaron as your mouthpiece. You tell me, Richie, where does Aaron speak on behalf of Moses after that?
Nowhere.
Yeah. Moses continued to speak. He spoke to Pharaoh. He told Pharaoh, he's the one who spoke. He spoke to the Israelites. He said, God says, he's the one who spoke. I don't see anyone else. where Aaron spoke. In fact, Aaron is one who came to make a
Drama,
calf
yeah.
and brought drama for these guys as they're crossing the desert, right? Now, what is my point is, I guess it needed for God to satisfy that thing in Moses to help him calm down and live within his true identity. Because that's his true identity, deliverer. What is your identity? And are you stuck in this reality of, I don't have, I lack? But who is going to help you see? It is the company that you keep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the company that you keep. If you're with people who are not calling that out, I wouldn't even have seen this in this way if I had not hung out with this mentor that we have, Alan and I. Because then now I'm able to say, oh my gosh, yes, it's reality, but there's a true identity that if I just live in and accept this is who I am and this is what God wants me to do and live in that space, you know, I really miss out on a lot. So keep good company. Company that will be your squad encouraging you. You said you want 50 million in 5 years. Let's get this done, sister. How are you doing this? Where did you say you've reached? Have you set up the account? What have you done? Are you understanding me?
Accountability
but
is
not,
huge...
let's go and spoil, let's go and... They're keeping you accountable to who they know you should be and are working towards. All right? They're not putting you in a situation where you have to go through rows and putting pressure for you, Paka, you have to take loans and, you know, because of trying to stand up to who they are. You're trying to keep up with these Joneses and buy the cars they're buying, and maybe those cars are given to them. Maybe they're not their cars. Maybe, you know, you don't know.
Maybe there's a loan.
Maybe there's a loan. Instead of them encouraging you towards being at the place where you become financially free. Who are you keeping company with?
Have you had situations in your life where you've had to exit some company for the sake of you getting to where it is that you wanted to get to?
Yes. And it's not Xing like that. I never want to be your friend. It's just spending more and more time with people who are reading more, who are growing, because they challenge me. And I find I'm drawn towards those kinds of people. People who are stuck, I just find...
Is that because you yourself then are not like that? Have you... Okay, let me ask it like this.
Okay.
Maybe there's something that you're aspiring to, but you're not there. For example,
No, I'm not.
You're stuck. You are from the mentality of stuck, and like begets like. How then are you able to force yourself to be in a different environment so that you can then get this understanding?
Ask that question again. How can I force myself?
Okay, let me just ask it like this. What are some of the radical decisions that you have made to get then into good company, or the company that you want?
So the company that I want for my current target is not within my current friends. So I have spoken to somebody, met them, they're not my friend. And I said, every month we're going to have a date. This is the goal I have, and I want you to hold me accountable. The other company I have is I drop my children very far in school. And so I turn on the voice of a man called John Maxwell, because the other area I want to grow is in my leadership. And John Maxwell, I listen to him and he tells me, you need to communicate better. You need to be more accountable. So there's things that he says every day in my ears that I work towards becoming. But I don't just sit there and be like, oh, I don't know what. I want to constantly grow. So I listen to people every moment that I can who are. There's things about my marriage that I'm wanting to improve and grow in. And so I will read around, what do I need to improve as a person? How can I be a better wife? How can I be a better person to my husband? Because the more that I give, the more that I receive. I cannot sit with people who will tell me how their husband is so bogus and useless, because that's how I'm going to think. Are we together? So it's in different areas. Yes. Parenting. I want to be a great mom. I want to spend time with my children. I want to be able to give more towards them. I want to be able to mentor them and be present as a mother. I can't hang out with women who are just like, baby, you're wasting so much time. Because I will see it like that.
It's so powerful what you've said. In fact, I'm so glad I asked that question, because this concept of good company, I had limited it to physical friends. But what I'm hearing for you, it's garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out.
It's what you're listening to in the car.
Something has just come. Faith comes by hearing. All right? And it's not just faith in positive things, it's also faith in the negative.
Yeah.
If I constantly hear something, you are going to do it, you're going to make it, you're going to be amazing, you've been called to do great things, you're going to be a great speaker one day, you're going to do these amazing things, you are beautiful, I'll believe it. If I'm constantly hearing, oh, we're going to collapse, oh, things are so horrible, oh, it's never going to work out, oh, tough, business is so tough, oh, all businesses fail in the first, I don't know how many. If that's what I'm listening to, I will believe it and become it. Faith comes by hearing and consistently hearing. So keep good company in what you're listening to, what you're reading, what you're exposing yourself to.
There's an analogy, and maybe you should check out that YouTube video where somebody speaks to a plant, because the power of words, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And somebody speaks negatively to one plant and positively to the next plant. The plant that was spoken to negatively actually dies.
Wow.
These are plants. So what more if you're hearing negative conversations around this financial world from the company in which you're keeping?
Look at that.
You get? Okay, what's the next point?